Hey, welcome everybody. How are we doing? It's Bob Burns here. In a second, I'm going to welcome my guest, and we're going to talk about what she is going to give you in October, November this year, 2020. Let's do the welcome first of all. Ines Simpson, how are you?
I'm really good, Bob. Just awesome.
You're looking tired. That's probably because this is take 17. But I tell you, this is the last one, Ines. This is it. Not all the practice. Nothing says this shouldn't be absolutely perfect. Can I tell the boys and girls what we're doing first of all?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Please do that.
Guys, we're going to do the Ines Simpson, the Simpson Protocol, TSP. And Ines has been giving me a hard time, quite rightly so. For a couple of years, I've been so busy. I haven't had the chance to sit in on this myself, but I'm going to be there. When is it going to be? Well, Ines is in Vancouver, Canada, and it's mainly going to be for the European set. The dates are in October, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's the 23rd, 24th, 25th. And the next week, that's going to be Friday the 30th, Saturday the 31st, and Sunday the 1st of November. So guys, we've got a six-day gig, 4 hours per day. Okay, Simpson Protocol. Simpson Protocol, when did it come about?
Yeah. It started around 2004. And I started evolving it. It just evolved as I started going through it. I started it because I was doing a lot of regression to cause, and a lot of my people didn't necessarily want to tell me stuff. They didn't want to share. And so I just started doing it so they didn't have to share. I just started to figure out how to do it without. So now it's 2020. It's a little bit longer since then. And it's evolved into a very great practice. And in every class I teach, it seems to change a teeny bit. And it just evolves a little more. But essentially what it does is that you have to have no judgment. You have no judgment at all. The client is working it from their higher mind. Simpson Protocol is done with the superconscious, which is the part of them that knows everything or can find out anything. So who knows what it is exactly, but that's what it does. And so that's what we do. And they allow it to happen through them, and it can change very quickly. So you have no judgment. You just asking questions. You never second guess a question because that way that's showing your judgment, isn't it? So you never take anything in. And after that, they just feel a lot better. Everything is just gone. And I just worked with a client just beforehand, and I think the session was half an hour because we were just finishing off, and it's all done. So people that allow it to happen, which you notice I say allow hypnosis to happen, is there's not an issue. If they do not want to allow the hypnosis, that's it. We're not done. You're done, just like in any other thing, except the swan. But the swan is the same. You either get it or you don't, right? So most clients that come to me obviously are ready for it, and they just do it. So, and just like anybody who comes to see you and who's willing to allow hypnosis to happen. So we don't have any judgment. We also just ask all these questions, plus any question that comes into your head or anything at all, and you just keep going till your issue has been cleared.
Well, listen, that's fantastic.
We don't even really need to know what the issues are, because what we do is we're issue till we get to the outcome. We get to the client to know where they want to go, and from there we just work from there.
How many countries have you now taken this to since you started? Do you have any idea?
Quite a few, pretty well, mostly in Europe. I've got Germany, Belgium, Holland. All those countries have got trainers too. And then I go to Australia and New Zealand, Brazil. I've been in Brazil. I've been in Spain. I've been all over, and UK especially, the only place I haven't been yet, which is on record as going on soon, is the Scandinavian countries. So that's happening. And we're going to have a trainer in Singapore and Malaysia soon. And we've got
Hmm.
trainers in, well, they're already in all those countries except for the UK. I still do it myself because it speaks English. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's a Spanish, Italian, and in Dubai. There's somebody in Dubai doing it. Where else? That's about it, I think.
Well, that's a fair bit. That's a fair bit. You've covered most of the world there. You and I cross each other all the time. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
lots of your clients. You know many of mine in Brazil,
Yeah.
Australia, New
Yeah.
Zealand, the Far East,
Yeah.
Spain, Italy, France. So we've
We
both
hang
been
out
covering.
in similar circles.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why we are talking. I already know of your work, although I've never sat in your class. You've been you sat in my class a couple of times, so now this is going to be my time to sit back and make the faces you make at me when I'm trying to talk. So it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. What about SB? What are the principles? Do you have an actual principle? Is that a difficult question for me to ask you?
The most important part is that they don't ever judge and say, superconscious mind, can we now do this? And whatever it is. You know, you're asking the questions that are written and you're asking the questions that you think of, but you never just take over and start saying, well, how about I do this technique in the middle or do this or do that? You just keep going. And if anything you do, you can ask telepathically, by the way, and you can ask telepathically to superconscious, is it ideal to do this? And then that's fine. So the principle is you do nothing the superconscious mind doesn't want. You
Now
do
that's the bit that interests me because there's woo woo, there's no woo woo, and there's a bit of woo woo. Now there's a bit of woo woo here, and
there,
I like that. You know,
there is
and
a
I'm,
bit of
I'm,
woo-woo.
I'm and
Yeah,
I'm very much, or if you like, there's bad woo woo and there's good woo woo. This is good woo woo. I'm very
yeah,
open to that, so I
yeah.
kind of like it. What will they learn?
Okay.
Why is Tom, Dick, and Harry coming to SB? What's it all about? What are they going to learn?
Well, first they're going to learn how to get them into the state. That's the first thing, because you have to get them into a special state of mind to allow the work to happen. If they don't believe that they can do it, it's not going to happen. So they'll learn how to do that. They'll learn how to just address each client slightly differently. Even though the questions are the same, the client's going to react differently to each one. Each one's going to be different. So they learn how to do that. They then learn how to do surrogate hypnosis, which is us working, like me working through you on someone else or an animal. They'll learn that. They'll learn how to do spiritual hypnosis to go with that. And they'll learn how to do pro health and also self hypnosis. And because of after the first session that you have someone, they know how to get themselves into those places. So they can do self hypnosis right away to all the levels that we use. So we also attempt to get them to Esdale if necessary. Let's say we were doing the birthing program, then we would make sure we got them to Esdale, which Esdale, as you know, since he's from your plate neck of the woods, is that
A
he
mile and a half. I'm looking. I'm waiting at his cottage right here. Yeah.
yeah. And he got people within 10 to 12 days, he'd get them into a situation where they could cut a leg off or whatever. And
Mainly testicles,
yeah,
Ines.
mostly testicles, yes.
Yeah.
And
Strange boy, James.
and then he could just get them to stop the bleeding, do all the other things that you could do in that level. So Elman came along and figured out how to do it much faster, which didn't take 10, 12 days of mesmerism, which doesn't mean that it couldn't have. It was just 1865 or something like that.
Yeah.
And
can we just take a moment? Let me tweak you just a little bit on surrogacy, because that's something a lot of people talk about. Can you just spend a moment on that for us, where the person becomes a surrogate? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, just anyone can do that. Usually it's a client that has come in and had resolved a great issue, right? And they want to do it for their 2-year-old. Let's say he has night terrors, or they want to come in and do it for they have a real issue with their horse. They had got bucked off the horse, stuff like that, and you can connect the two of them so they understand each other. And you just change it. I don't need. There's not much I can tell you, Bob, because I don't know what goes on in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is that usually that things are resolved. They've had horses heal their skin. They, when they've had bad skin conditions or cancer, they take animals and shift them from being very timid and scared, and the kind that they cower or they do anything. You can work with the animals and get that done. Now with a human, it's much more, it's the same. We just go through the same process as we do for the regular sessions once we've connected them. And once it's all done, the other person has that, can feel it and sense it and know it. And in class, they'll do it in threes so that the third person is the one they're working on, so they can tell that it's happened.
Mm-hmm.
So is everybody going to do that? Not everyone will do it. Not everyone will do it. They'll do the surrogacy, but they won't necessarily feel it. Now, they may be a client. You don't have to ask them. You have to ask the higher mind if it's allowed to be done. And if it's allowed to be done, then you can do it.
Well, look, we're going to move quickly on this because we want to fill these dates in if we can. I'm going to be with you for all of the days. I'm looking forward to it. I already work, in fact, yesterday I was working with, here we go, Scandinavia. I was working with someone from Sweden who works with animals. And that's something I thought I would never be doing. But it's been more than 10 years now since I worked with my first person who also is a therapist working with animals. I've got maybe 15 or so people that I work with. Who are absolutely fantastic. They get great results. Two of them here in Montrose.
Yeah, there are people that they're animal communicators and they can communicate with them, but not everyone can. So this is for people who are normal, like me, like people that don't have any psychic skills. I'm intuitive. I don't have a lot of psychic skills, but I'm intuitive. And
yeah, I get you.
Yeah, there's a big difference, right?
For sure. So look, we've given them the dates. We'll give them all the rest of the stuff at the bottom of this. Once they watch this little clip, we'll give prices, we'll give times and everything again. So I want to thank you for this time we spent together now. This will go out in Bob Burns Hypnotherapy. Pete Dalton's going to send it to his areas into a few more. And we'll see if we can get a class together just ASAP and move in on this. But we don't want a huge class. We want a nice, tight class, so we can work well with them, yeah?
Yeah, I don't like it to go over 20 too much.
I am having, well, a lot of the people watching this will have read what I've been writing over the last couple of weeks, and you will have as well, and it's doing my head in. Working with over 25, for example, two different, it's just too
much easier to do it.
Online.
Live online, it's easier for
in a group, 600 or 700 in a room is fine. Online, a couple dozen marks, that's the way. So listen, I want to thank you for all of that. And we'll get together soon. We'll maybe do another chat, and we will do nearer the time. And if you're happy with this, I'm going to invite people as well, when they see this clip and they see the things down below, if they can write any questions in there, we'll get them to you, and you can answer that questions as we build up to it. If they have any questions, is that okay?
No, that's good. That really works well.
Okay, that's great.
The usual thing that usually happens is you have to shift the hypnotist's mind to how they can get this to happen. And once you've shifted them into that, then it's not a problem.
Great. Okay. Well, we'll work with that. So right now, shall we give everybody a wave, Ines? Let them see how lovely we are. Wish them well. Hope to see you there. I'm going to be there with Pete Dalton, and all the details will be right below this. So take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now, Ines.
Bye for now.